Here we are, boys and girls, all aboard the Championship, your fix for all the information that happened this weekend in the Championship. Lots of exciting games and some not so exciting games. Hello, Lewis. How are you, pal? Are you all well?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I've been really looking forward to this. I mean, I always look forward to this, but it feels like it's been a while. We obviously didn't get to get together last week, and we've got some interesting games to look at from the weekend. So yeah, some really good stuff.
Yeah, it feels like the teams at the top sort of stepping on the throat a little bit this time, going for the jugular. And we start off with a massive bang. Whew, down in London to start with. Charlton Athletic QPR. What a rivalry. The sparks flew and it finished.
0-0.
Oh.
What a letdown.
Yeah. So take us through it, mate. Don't take too long because obviously there's not that much to talk about. But no, the classic stalemate in a derby game happens. We see it so often. Tell us a bit more, mate.
Yeah, stalemate at the Valley, as you say, in a game where defences came out on top, really. There were some chances in the game, but ultimately it's a point for both of these teams. Charlton's still not out of trouble, mate, yet, as yet, only 4 points above the relegation zone. QPR just 3 points off the playoffs, even though just one win in their last 5 games. It shows how wide open this division is, doesn't it?
It does. I think there's still sides who are in 15th, 16th, we're not naming any names, who still think they can make it to the playoffs. You can chuck a blanket over them, can't you? I think from top to bottom, well, from 6th place all the way down, you're looking at about 7 or 8 points to the relegation zone nearly. It's there's not a lot in it, mate. And yeah, it's the way the season's going. Like QPR, like say 3 points off the players, 1 win in 5. And I think that's just win, draw, lose. There's so many teams on that kind of river, Mark, isn't there? So yeah, I mean, QPR might deem that as when teams are fighting for their lives and sort of need those 3 points. With a third of the season to go, I still wouldn't say Charlton they're a hard team to call for me because they had that really great spell at the start. They've had that drop off in the middle, and you just don't know what version you're going to get. They have got some good players. Do you think they stay alive this season?
I think so. I mean, a lot can happen in these last games of the season. I mean, what have we got now? We've got sort of 16, 17 games left. I think, as you say, a lot of twists and turns, a lot of things can happen at this point. There are teams, like you say, you can throw a blanket over that are chasing the playoffs. There are teams down the bottom end still scrapping to get themselves safe and get away. I think they could be okay, given the form of some of the teams below them as well. But a lot of teams fighting it out and very inconsistent. You look at the playoff teams, you look at the teams down at the bottom. They can have a run of 2 or 3 games and then they have a run of 2 or 3 defeats as well. And it's really unpredictable. It's what makes it so interesting, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move swiftly on, mate, because there's not much to say about that game. Derby and Ipswich, which was for me probably the pick, along with Sheffield United and Borough, as the big games this weekend. And Derby just failing to capitalise on a few situations, and they ended up losing 2-1. An own goal in this one, quite a good one as well. One of the best I've seen, to be fair.
It was a very interesting fixture as well coming into it, given Derby's recent climb up the table and into playoff contention. Ipswich looking to keep their automatic promotion hopes on track. Yeah. I mean, it got off to the best possible start for them and the worst possible start for Derby. As you say, Lewis Travis finds the back of his own net. He was sent off late on in the game as well. Bobby Clark, a player that we may talk about later in the ref watch part of this when we're joined by the man in black, does really well to win a penalty in the 67th minute. And Ryan Brewster, a man we know very well, converts it. Leif Davis heads on the cross of your dreams from Casey McAteer. I mean, that's a case of just head that, and it's in the back of the net.
Well, he guides it lovely across, like back where it came from. He guided it really nicely. Not a player that I'd have put any sort of wedge on to score an header, to be honestly.
No, a diminutive left back, albeit a very good left back, and certainly a good one for the level. But yeah, made very easy for him by that delivery from Casey McAteer as well. I mean, is it too 2 from 3 still for I mean, I don't know. You tell me your view on this. Is it 2 from 3 for automatics, mate? Coventry, Borough, and Ipswich, look like the likely candidates. Do you think so, or is it that clear cut yet? Could someone else come into it? I'm looking at Millwall and thinking maybe.
Yeah, it's one of those for Millwall. They feel like it feels like the Aston Villa of the Premier League a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Where they've been flirting with the idea of challenging the top two. So yeah, who's to say? Millwall have got a great result this weekend, and if again they've been really consistent, if they can keep going in that vein, I don't think they're quite as eye-catching as some of the other sides. But that doesn't mean anything. The Championship isn't about the odd good performance. It's about, can you string together 10 games where you lose one of them? And if you can, and I believe Millwall, they're showing plenty of credentials to be able to do that. So, yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen. I mean, it was only 10 games ago we had Coventry. Now we'd already started carving their name in the trophy. And now everybody's telling me now Middlesbrough are going to win the title. And then Ipswich win again, and all of a sudden you look at their side and go, well, they've got a good side, and it's like, well, it swings and roundabouts, mate. I really couldn't tell you if Middlesbrough play like they did on Monday, who's to argue? But who's to argue with them winning the title? But it's a funny old game, and it's all still to play for. I want to talk on now about Norwich City and the job that Clement has done down there. What a man. He has literally saved their bacon, hasn't he?
He has, and I was going to ask you the very same question. Norwich continuing their rise up the division, and Slimani and a new signing in Mohamed Toure, a January edition, firing them 2-0 in front in the later stages of the game. Damaging defeat for Blackburn, mate. They're in a lot of trouble. One win in their last 10 games, and that was at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Philippe Clement, as you say, I mean, he's done so well, hasn't he? 19 points from their last 10 league games. I mean, that's automatic promotion for them, isn't it? If they'd have had anything like a decent start, they'd be threatening maybe that those playoff positions, that top two. But what a job he's done.
I think the Canaries can look forward to a good season next year if he remains the manager, which I assume he will. Provided no one comes in and goes, "We'll have a bit of you." I think he's proven to be to turn it around. There's good managers out there, but turning a ship around like that was sinking quick. That's a bit of special praise for him. That's why I wanted to mention him. Slimani, another ex-Blade going in there and doing the business. Did absolutely Jeff all for us, but guess what? He's always popping up with a big goal for Norwich City. So fair play to him and giving it a good go down there. Slightly fortuitous, wasn't he, when the defender fell over?
Yes,
running through, but for Toure's goal. But yeah, it was a comfortable win in the end. Down to Southampton, Watford. Watford, we keep saying, are they going to be the ones that emerge from the pack and steal that sixth spot? We've eulogised about loser all season. The wheels falling off just a touch for them at the minute and going down at Southampton.
Yeah, they seem to be losing that little bit of momentum they had, and Imran Louza, who's obviously so important to them, can't do it all on his own, and he's really got to turn up in a big way to get the motoring, which he did for a spell. But yeah, they've really dropped off. I mean, another January window signing having an impact for Southampton, though, with the first goal in this game. Or the only goal in this game, rather. Canadian Kyle Larin scores off the bench. What a way to make your debut. Another, as I say, another one they brought in during this winter transfer window. Southampton turning a corner a little bit and have addressed their recent poor form, I think, at this point. This puts them a point behind the visitors, Watford, who were just outside the playoffs coming into this. Very up and down season for the Saints, Paul, but we've got to take them seriously as a playoff contender again, haven't we? I mean, they've got the quality in their squad for one thing, and all of a sudden they just seem to be creeping back into some resemblance of form that they showed prior to that bad run.
Yeah, I think this is what we find out about people's squads, don't we? After January, there's been a lot of games played. There's lots of niggly injuries that the players have got. Some of the sides that have come up and have been, riding a bit of momentum, that's all gone now. And it's all about, can you now grind out those results when you need them. Southampton certainly look like they've got enough know-how in the side and they've got enough talent on the pitch. I just think they've lacked a little bit of edge this season, if you know what I mean. They've shown their teeth at times and then been a bit toothless at other times. And yeah, I'll keep talking about the dentists and tooth and two things going on, but that is the word for them. I think this season, I think they have been a bit toothless in a lot of the games, and they've got plenty of talent in there, and who's to say you won't want them in the playoffs? I don't think, because they've got a lot of players who on the day you think could turn up and hurt you. So yeah, they could be a contender along with another 10 teams at this point in time. So yeah, we'll just keep a powder dry with that. We'll give it 7 or 8 more games there, then we'll start committing to something. I think on that one. Into the Midlands, the West Midlands versus the East Midlands. Birmingham City, the tale of two halves, the tale of two stadiums. Can't fail at home, it seems. They've had a really good home record this season. Away from home, been utterly rubbish. Strange, really. Stansfield back in the groove, maybe. First goal in 14, and he looked to be a good player at the start of the season. It's dropped off a bit for him, and obviously a big mistake from Pereira, uncharacteristic, you could say.
Yeah, uncharacteristic, but as you say as well, Jay Stansfield, the talisman for the home side, scoring with the winner just after an hour. Leicester, though, mate, staring down the barrel at the moment, aren't they? I mean, clearly not the result they needed off the back of the 6-point deduction in the week. Osman opening the scoring for Birmingham with a complete giveaway from them, as you say, very uncharacteristic. Fatawu equalising on 21 minutes, superb half volley. I mean, a goal of the highest quality from a player that clearly looks like he could play at a higher level. Bobby Reid then gets himself sent off. We may talk about that later. And perhaps that was a deciding factor. Late one, for me, it looked like studs were showing. That was my view of it, but we'll get another opinion on that. But yeah, Jay Stansfield, a player I really like, settles it for Birmingham. We've talked about Birmingham all season, and you've addressed their excellent home form, their not so good away form. They're 10th. They're 2 points off the playoffs. You know what I'm going to ask you? Can they do it? Can they creep in there? There's so many that can.
Mate, if I'm still banging the drum for Sheffield United to get anywhere near it, I think it's fair to say that Birmingham definitely can. Talented squad. Again, loads of players that can on the day, and it's can they put a bit of a consistent run together? Because anyone that can now is going to put himself right in the frame for a grandstand finish towards the end of the season. So, yes, I think they can is the answer. Leicester, looking at the quality they've got in that team, they've got to have someone like turn the mentality around. They've got to change the way that they're going about it at the moment. And obviously, the 6 points can galvanise a side, can't it? It can make them think that siege mentality. You took our points off us. A bit of injustice. Can they tap into that sort of mindset to try and get them out of the mire, because they are deep in the brown stuff at the bottom there, mate. And I'm not Leicester. I mean, going down with that wage bill and having to get people off those wages. There's a few you think, well, they should have no trouble moving them on. They've got 5 or 6 for me that they're gonna find it tricky for teams to come and take them at the level that they're paying them. And players don't have to leave if they don't want to. And there could be a huge disaster there if they're not very careful and they turn it around soon. But another team that we thought 15 games ago, again, we were carving their name on the trophy. A 0-0 draw home to Oxford. Oxford obviously delighted with that point. They've just lost a little bit of that invincibility. Coventry, they believed it for a long time. Do they still believe it?
Yeah, it's difficult to know what they need to do to find their early season form again, isn't it? Disappointing result, this, as you say, against an Oxford team that finished with 10 men as well in the end. Lots of possession for Cov, but Oxford really restricted them to very few sort of big chances in the game. Still have a lot to do. Matt Bloomfield's Oxford, as you say, excellent result for them. But they're giving themselves a chance, aren't they, mate? I mean, recent win at Leicester, a couple of defeats after that, but then this. So they're showing some fight. They give themselves half a chance. It's going to be tough, but at this stage of the season, you look up and the teams above you, they're down there for a reason. They're still not winning many games. So they've got a puncher's chance, haven't they? Like Blackburn have and like Portsmouth have.
Well, I think, honestly, mate, there could be a massive surprise for me this season. There could be an absolute juggernaut go down, as we've seen in the past with Leeds, Sheffield United, Man City quite a few years ago. But gosh, remember that one. I think that this could be a major, major problem for Leicester if they're not careful. And I just think when teams have got that size of wage bill, and I think they came down with like the ninth biggest wage bill, and so someone from Leicester might tell me I'm wrong here, but they went down from the Premier League with this giant wage bill. And there's been a lot of players still there, the Tottenham lads they had. There's just, for me, they're going to fight. They've got to get out of it. They've got to survive and start again next season. I should imagine it'll be a fire sale in the summer, or they'll want it to be, to get some of them big guns off the wage bill. But I don't know, Leicester, Coventry, I hope they can, because I like Frank Lampard. I think Coventry are a great club, and I hope they can still do themselves proud towards the end of the year. And well, it makes it very exciting, mate, doesn't it? It makes it that 3-horse race at the top, possibly 4, possibly 5. I think the top 5 have, just like I said, knelt on the necks of some of the others this weekend, and they'll want 3 or 4 weekends like that to make sure and cement their place in the playoffs. Another couple of sides next who are vying for one of those spots. Hull City at home to Bristol. 2-3 defeat at home to Bristol City. A day for ex-Sheffield United players everywhere to either assist or get on the score sheet. McBurney assisted by Slater, an ex-Blade. Dowell's popped one in later for him, an ex-Blade, along with Soleimani. Can we just not get the best out of these players at Sheffield United and our Hull just tapping into this a little bit better? But Bristol with a really good victory on the road.
Yeah, really good victory on the road, and it came a little bit out of the blue for me, given Hull City's recent form, because they've been on an excellent run. Even went in front, as you say, through Ollie McBurney. Bristol City, though, then racing into a 3-1 lead within the next 26 minutes after that goal, so they really stepped on it after that. Kieran Dowell, a player we know, an ex-Sheffield United player as well, with a consolation. What a result for Bristol City, though, and now just a point outside the playoffs. They've got Wrexham next as well, as has been pointed out to some of the locals where I live. So a massive game for them coming up. Vitek, who's been a great addition for them in goal, made a couple of great saves in this game, right in the middle of the game, at a crucial moment. Very Jekyll and Hyde team, though, Bristol City. Paul, I mean, I've watched them get turned over recently 5-0 at home to Derby on one of our watch-alongs. Where do you see them finishing? I mean, I know these questions are putting you on the spot and they're really difficult to answer because, like you say, you can throw a blanket over them all and you just don't know, do you? But with Bristol City, I just feel like of all of them, they're probably the most inconsistent. They can be absolutely excellent and they can be so poor as well. And there's often nothing in between with them.
No, I know what you mean, but I just think that's the championship, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I've watched Birmingham be very impressive. I've watched Wrexham be very impressive. I've watched Sheffield United be very impressive. Southampton, all these sides on the day. Derby County, amazing one week, and then again, you get turned the next. It's just how it's been this year, and I think there's so many teams just scrambling around for that little bit of consistency. I just think it's so hard to say, mate. It's just so hard to say because, like I say, on any day, I think Bristol can go anywhere and win, and they could also go anywhere and lose, other than Hillsborough or anywhere. But other than that, mate, I still believe that is the case every single season. Every single match day, it is just all up in the air. And Bristol have got a lot of quality in the team. We like Twine, don't we? We like his quality. Reese has got 11 goals this season already. McCrory with a smashes one in the top corner. It's like they have got quality, and it's just about, can they make it all click at the same time? It's one of those. We go on to another side who has been jittery in recent weeks. Preston North End under Heckingbottom, who have been excellent this season, it has to be said. Considering the wage bill, considering the resources he's got there, he's got a hell of a team on his hands. And they're back on course a little bit with a 1-0 victory. And again, we'll speak about when we look at the table, but a good point against the Portsmouth side who were down there and fighting.
Yeah, it is. And an Alfie Divine looping header was enough to settle it. Preston arresting some of that recent poor form, that jittery form, as you mentioned. First win in 6 games in all competitions, so it'll be very welcome for them. It leaves Preston 7th, level on points with Wrexham in 6th, so they're still very much in there. Portsmouth still only 1 point outside the relegation zone, so they're still sweating, looking over their shoulder, as we thought they would be throughout this season. Pompey pushed an equaliser. They pushed forward towards the end, had chances. Preston hung on though, not convincing from them. But Pompey looked like the home team at times in this. I mean, they really put up a good fight and looked like they were going to get something out of it. But when you're on a bad run, I don't know. Do you just need to win games like this from Preston's point of view, mate? Does it matter how you play, or do you need a performance for the confidence as well?
I think performance will be, if they're, like you say, if they're in with a shout at the playoffs towards the end, they'll be looking for a better performance, because you can't fluke it in the playoffs over 2 legs. You've got to be on top, and you've got to be on your best form. At this stage, mate, it's all about the W's. And if you can eke them out, however they come, 1-0s, you take a 1-0 every week, wouldn't you, until the end of the season now. Doesn't need to be 3 or 4. Forget the champagne. Just get the solid victories in there. And that's what they've done. I think there's so many teams in with a chance. Preston are right in there too. We go down to another struggling side, another mammoth of a club who are right in the zone down the bottom there. West Bromwich Albion against their self-proclaimed bogey team. My family ties to this. They hate playing Stoke. Stoke have had the voodoo on them for years and years, but they managed to halt it slightly with a 0-0 draw, at home to Stoke City. Simkin saving Stokes Bacon with a really, really top save. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yes, yeah, and absolutely top save from the moments that can decide seasons. It can be the difference between going down and staying up, and you can track it back to some of these as well. Fantastic save, but from West Brom's point of view, mate, how nervous their supporters be at the moment. They haven't won a game since the 29th of December at home to QPR, which is astonishing, really. It's 2 points from their last 7 games in the league. They sit a point above the relegation zone. People are worried about Leicester. I think it's West Brom that need to be looking over their shoulder, in all honesty, at the moment. They're away to Birmingham tonight. Not seen the score yet. Need to check on that in a moment. But, Birmingham are on the up as well. So difficult game. After that, they've got Norwich away of West Brom, and they've got Coventry at home. So it doesn't get any easier for them. Eric Ramsey, he was a big roll of the dice, wasn't he, as a managerial appointment, given the situation that they're in. You'd look for someone more proven, surely.
It really does smell of a side that's looking to a board that's trying to save money. It really does, and it could be the thing that ends up being the ultimate making them pay the ultimate price, because they've got to turn this around, and they need someone who knows the drill, who knows the championship. And like you say, huge risk attached to it. I still think they've still got a side that shouldn't be really anywhere near it. I think they've got enough good players, Grant and Hagabo, and they've got Malumbi, who's experienced. They've got a lot of players. They've signed Chris Mepham, who's a really steady pro, certainly a good championship defender. You'd expect a bit more, wouldn't you? So they could be a side that turn it around, but yeah, they've got to do it sooner rather than later. Otherwise, they're going to be right in it. Wrexham, a big game. This Wrexham at home to Millwall. Alex Neil saying that they're just looking at the next game. If they keep doing what they're doing now, mate, going to Wrexham and winning 2-0, that's a hell of a result for Millwall, and will fill them with a bit of belief.
It will. Hollywood FC not getting their flowers in this one, unfortunately, and Millwall with a very important win leaves them 5th in the table. Cleworth own goal just before the hour made it 1-0 to Millwall. After he just couldn't adjust his body and feet, a good cross from Femi Aziz has been very impressive for Millwall this season, a player that they resisted bids for in January. Good delivery, Clearwath couldn't quite get his shape right and just guided it in, unfortunately for him. But Sam Smith had a chance to level. A player that's been doing very well recently had a chance to level just before Josh Coburn rifles one in late in the game. But Wrexham pegged back, mate, and this will pique the attention of a host of teams coming in behind them for a playoff spot. It's going to be exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, toss a coin, see what happens. That's the Championship, mate. It was a lot of people might have fancied Wrexham in this one, but Millwall again proving difficult to beat. I think Wrexham spurned a lot of chances in this. I saw them having a lot of goes with not a lot of results. So yeah, I think it's not. I wouldn't say it's worrying for Wrexham at all. I think that Millwall are a good side, and they're looking to cement their spot. What they don't want is to be leapfrogged by teams like Wrexham, and that's kind of what Alex Neil said in his post match was that, yeah, we don't want to lose to teams just below us. We're going to be fighting for every single ball, and I think that I think he's the perfect man for the job there. His sort of personality just fits with their identity perfectly, doesn't it?
It does, and he's a proven operator at the level as well, hasn't he? You know, he's been at Sunderland, he's been at Norwich. You know, he's managed teams that are, tend to be perennially at that level, and he's got a lot of experience there. And he does it, like you say, personality-wise, he's going to potentially get the best out of those players. And from a cultural point of view, the supporters will identify with him as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think he fits perfectly. And we see that sometimes at clubs, don't we?
We do.
So on to Wales, after South Wales, was to see Swansea, who welcomed Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, I was saying this pre-show to you. I just feel like it's so far from being the level. When you watch the games and you see the midfield just getting bypassed almost, and the chances being created. There's not many blades who agree, but I feel a little bit sorry for some of the supporters having to put up with this now, because 4-0 at Swansea, the Potnick didn't spare him at all. An absolute bullet partway through the game. The first goal that he scores, there's mistakes that were being capitalised on by Swansea. Looked a bit easy, didn't it?
It looked a bit easy, and like you say, Dr. Vipotnik, our man at the double, again, what a season he's having, mate. 15 Championship goals in 22 starts. But this is the thing, when you talk about Sheffield Wednesday and the situation they're in, I mean, I've been listening to some media outlets and their supporters saying, no fight in the team, this, that and the other, we want to see a bit more from that. I mean, they're just so far below the level. And the problem is, when you get to the Championship, and particularly when you get to the Premier League as well, at these levels, no one feels sorry for you either, and the teams that you're playing against are utterly ruthless. And Swansea were in this. 6 wins from 7 Championship home games. Wednesday going 9 successive league matches without scoring now. I mean, for Wednesday, they could be relegated next weekend, mate. There is a danger that they could be relegated at Bramall Lane, which clearly they don't want. We're rubbing our hands at the prospect. Could be all done before then. They've got the pain of either they're going to be relegated by Barry Bannon or they're going to be relegated by us, and neither one of those prospects is particularly appealing to Sheffield Wednesday fans. So I do agree. There is a tinge of feeling a little bit sorry for them. It's just one of those things, though. They are where they are, and unfortunately, I don't think they recognise just how ill-equipped their team is to play at the level.
It's the size of the rebuild, and it's the size of the job that's coming on the horizon. Because at the minute, the Championship is a lot higher level than League One. Let's have it right; it definitely is.
Yeah.
It's when they go to League One with the state they're in at the minute. I think the side they've got now gets relegated out of League One.
Yeah,
I have to say that. I haven't watched it. I think it needs complete starting again. There needs to be funds invested. How much and where those funds come from, and all the uncertainty around it. They're gonna have to sign a lot of good players just to be competitive next season. And I think that's where that's how deep the rot could be. And yeah, from a if you're a United fan, I guess some people would say, well, it's their turn to suffer. And having watched Sheffield United be there for 6 years, it could be a similar story. It could get worse. So we just have to sit tight and wait and see what's going to happen there. But yeah, at the minute they're just not competitive at all. On to the final game of the weekend. So Sheffield United at home to Borough, huge Monday night fixture. I have to say, for 20 minutes, I thought this is the best game I've seen at this level for a long time. I really thought it was end to end, toe to toe, the two teams. I felt like there could have been goals in the first 5-10 minutes. I think, although I concur that Borough were the better side and deserve a win.
Agree.
I still think Sheffield United had the better chances in the way that I think they'll bemoan Bamford's miss in the first half. How Uncle Bryn has managed to save the second one from Tyrese Campbell, I have no idea how he's even seen it, to be honest, to stick his leg out and save that one in the second half. I thought Gus, I think he made an outstanding save from Gus Hamer. It's been a little bit, we'd accept that. We'd most of the time just see that fly into the corner. He made a full stretch save, a really strong hand to it. I think he's a goalkeeper they could take up with him and hang tough in the Premier League based on what I've seen from this particular game anyway. And I think Sheffield United can feel a little bit aggrieved that they didn't manage to get a point out of the game. It felt like that, didn't it, before the Rothwell sending off, which, as I said, I think Rothwell has tried to endear himself to the Blades fans by putting in a crunching tackle. I believe he's going for the ball, but I think that lack of match sharpness has cost him dearly because he's just half a yard slow. And I have to say, before I bring my man in, it's for me it was a red card based on the fact he doesn't get the ball. If he gets the ball and follows through, I think the Blades fans cheer like it's a goal, frankly. But as it stands, Wilder said it himself, didn't he? It was a cast iron red. But let's bring in the man who knows more than we do about this. It's Gaz Dunn. How you doing, pal?
Yeah, I'm good, gents. How are you all? You well?
Yeah, we're good, mate. I think we'll start where we where I've seamlessly linked you into this, mate. Joe Rothwell had to go, didn't he?
Yeah, it's an easy one. There was a few wind-up merchants on the group last night, and yeah, it's an easy one. I don't know if the referee's got a full view of it. I generally don't know, but I think the fourth may have helped him out a little bit. But yeah, straight-legged, at speed, intensity, scissor action, off the ground, ticks all the boxes, done it for serious foul play.
You make it sound like a UFC match, mate, to be honest.
Exactly, that's what the tackle was like, I think.
Well,
it's very similar to Tommy Doyle's, isn't it?
Yeah, I was doing the watch along with Jamie Dumpling for it, Gaz, and I said to him straight away, if you're going to travel that distance at that speed, you've got to win the ball. You've got to. Yeah. If you don't win the ball, you're in a world of trouble, and you give the referee a decision to make. And like Paul said, there's probably a little bit of lacking match sharpness there, which is attributed to it. But there's no forgiveness now at that level, is there, when you make a challenge like that and you're that late?
Yeah, the worst thing is he doesn't need to make the challenge. There's covering defenders and everything. They're not really probably going to get a break on, really.
Right, I think he's seen a chance to get the Blades fans on side with a crunching tackle. We've seen him before down there. The Blades fans love a tackle, and I think he, like you say, I think that just that little bit of lack of sharpness that we saw when he first came onto the pitch, he was half a yard for me off the pace of the game. Yeah, last night, because we know his quality, but when you haven't played consistently, that's what you get, and I just think that's kind of cost him. I think on another day he gets the ball, and everybody says, "Whoa, do you see that tackle? What a tackle!" And yeah, but unfortunately he was second, and it cost him. Absolutely did. So I say the derby, the West Midlands, East Midlands, Birmingham, Leicester, mate. Bobby D. Cordova-Reid getting sent off, just what Leicester did not need with the struggles that they're having at the moment. Arguably one of their best attacking players and goal threats in D. Cordova-Reid. Now he got his red card, didn't he, Gaz?
Yeah, now a 3-match ban for him as well, which ain't going to do Leicester that good, even though they're winning 3-0 against Southampton now. So maybe it is. But yeah, the thing as a referee, as soon as you see somebody going straight-legged, the force is there. With a bent leg, you've got potential. The force isn't there. He catches him studs above the ankle. Yeah, right in the back of his leg. It's quite an easy decision. I think for the referee's perspective, it's all about being angles. You don't want to be looking straight down the barrel of the gun with those sort of decisions, because you might not see everything. That's why we always try and get an angle from it. And the referee's done well to get that angle, maybe with the help of his assistant, because he'd have a good angle as well on it. As a team, they've nailed that one. Yeah, he's a red card.
You've absolutely killed me. Anyway, I'm talking about, Leicester. Aren't they in trouble? It's 3-0. They're 3-0 up, and it's not even half time against Southampton. I'm like, what is the crap with it? Like, I know there's no prizes for saying how unpredictable this league is, but who'd have had Leicester 3-0 up at half time against Southampton? Southampton, who are back on the we might be back on the march. Leicester needs to be watching over the shoulder, and then they're smashing them at home. It's crazy, isn't it? This
mental, isn't it?
Yeah. So and other scores at the time, guys. Oxford at half time, 2-0 down to Norwich. Oxford. And then Birmingham and West Brom, the slightly later kickoff, still 0-0. Look, everyone loves a draw in a derby, and that one's not letting us down as well. So what else we got? We've got Preston and Portsmouth, red card in that game, guys. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so he actually doesn't give the red card, the referee, or the assistant referee, and then doesn't give the corner. So I don't know what the process of thought is. I know what I've seen. It's easy for me. You know what I mean? I'm watching it back on video. The referee, again, is probably looking down the barrel of a gun of it. The assistant referee is probably concentrating on the offside, because that's naturally what he'd be looking at. But he literally, the ball's gone over the top. He's running through on goal, and he just takes him clean out. Doesn't get the ball. Doesn't get anything. Clear, obvious goal-scoring opportunity for Segovic, I think it is, or
a dogso. Are we saying it's a dogso?
Yeah, your famous word that you love. Yeah, it's a dogso, denying of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, and we'll come on to one that isn't a dogso later.
Like pure dogso.
Yeah, but pure dogso. Yeah, denying of a goal-scoring opportunity, and should have been a red card, in my opinion.
Has he got that one wrong? Because Stevie Wonder can see that.
All about angles. It's all about angles and where you are on the field of play. Like I said to you, if you haven't got that angle, you don't get it. I got a throw-in wrong the other day because I didn't have the angle. I can't see that it's nicked off the other player and gone out for a throw-in. If you haven't got that angle, for whatever reason, it's harder to get an angle when you're on the line, naturally. But if you as a referee are waiting for the next phase of play and trying to predict that next phase of play and get yourself in a position for that, it can be difficult at times. Go on, Paul. Hit me.
All right, Mr. Kurt Angle over there. How many times can you say angle in a minute? Anyway, angle. Now, on a football pitch, from what I can remember, Mr. Dunn, there is a referee, two assistant referees, and a fourth.
Yeah.
At what point do we take a leaf out of the NFL and the rugby, and we just go, right, hang on a second. How can none of them see that? Yeah, you and I can see it, but if it was like on the moon, we'd be able to say, oh yeah, I can see that. Mate, how have they all missed it? Because these decisions, mate, are at this stage for certain teams, these are huge decisions that change the course of teams' trajectory. There's four guys there, mate. The crowd reaction, the whole thing. And it's like, no. And at what point does he just go, right, let me just go and have a word? Or just let's slow this down and have a chat about it? Because they're willing to take 7 minutes to come up with a VAR decision. Why can't they take 30 seconds to ask their mates? When everybody can see it, why would he get down? It's just, for me, it's just,
so
clear as day. I don't get it. I just don't.
There's three or four things here. One, we've already got that invention. It's called VAR, and nobody in the Championship wants it. That's the first one. Okay. Let's be honest. There's your 30 seconds. The second one is never trust a player's reaction, because they're all trying to get that marginal gain and they'll go down at the slightest touch, etc. You can't go off the crowd's reaction. And there's a reason for that. I'll use Rothwell's challenge as an example. The amount of people in the crowd have gone to me and gone, that's a great tackle. Exactly what I want. So you can't go off that. Yes, all right, there's four officials. The assistant on the far side, the non-active assistant, is never getting involved in that unless he's missed an absolute clanger that he can definitely 100% see from 90 yards away that the other one can't. And like I said, the fourth is in the same position as the non-active referee on this one. He's on the far side. So there's two of them that are actually looking at it. The AR, it's so hard to concentrate on.
Assistant referee for everyone else.
All right. Yeah, sorry. I do apologise. The assistant referee is concentrating on about 3 things at once. He's thinking offside. Is there a potential offside? And that is our bread and butter as an assistant referee. And then the second of all, the referee, if he hasn't got the angle, he can't see it. And that's why, in my opinion, let's get that VAR.
Right. Well, not just a ref, but maybe you should start a career in politics, guys, because I've heard some people wriggle out of a corner, mate, but that is pretty special stuff. Like a bloody ninja getting out of the corner.
That's why I want to get used
well done,
to
mate. Well done. It's like he's ready for me all the time. Anyway, so Derby and Ipswich then. Another massive game in the league. Derby flying in for those playoffs. Ipswich still going for the automatics. Pen for Derby, was that the right decision?
Yeah, there isn't that much contact, but when you're taking somebody's standing leg, it's going to be more impactful than if the contact is that and another part of the body. So there's contact, he trips his standing leg, it's a trip. Referee's got great position, he's literally 3 or 4 yards away. Yeah, it's a penalty all day, that one.
It's the kind that annoys me, Gaz, to be honest, because yes, I agree with you. He has to give a penalty under the laws of the game now. But Bobby Clark definitely leaves his leg in fishing for it. I won't have anyone tell me otherwise. But there's contact and under the laws of the game. And look, these things have to be black and white as well. If we make it too subjective, it's impossible for the referee to give a decision. So it annoys me that it's a penalty. But I said straight away he's got to give it when I was watching it on TV. So
it's not so much that every bit of contact is a foul. We don't play that, and referees we're told don't be a robot and things like that. But when player gives you that decision to make, you're making that decision. You've got to. The big thing we all talk about is impact and how much impact that has on the attacker. And that's the line you've got to go down. And that's why sometimes you do get a bit of a subjective view. And I had this conversation yesterday with people. And that's what we love about the game. We like that subjectiveness about our game. We don't like the black and white, to be honest with you. And I think most people agree that.
Yeah. No, I think so.
Travis Red, spot on.
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing. The assistant referee has gone there and flagged that it's not his throwing. He can see it. So he wants to get the ball. So he's doing 2 things, isn't he, really? Let's be honest. 1, he wants to be a pain in the backside, or 2, he wants to delay the restart. Either way, he's probably getting a second yellow, and he's already on a yellow. I don't understand footballers sometimes. They make it so easy for the referee to have nowhere to go.
I was a little bit confused by his actions, I have to say, because at that point, it's not in his interest to delay the restart as well. He's just making it take longer. Yes, they're probably going to bide their time and try and run the clock down, but just getting involved like that makes it more difficult. So I had no sympathy for him, lads, I have to say, for getting sent off.
And I've said it before on this show, us as referees, you don't want decisions like that to make. We just want to go out, deliver a game and leave. Don't want red cards, don't want yellow cards, don't want anything. Just go out there, deliver the game and walk off all players' safety. That's all we want.
All right, guys. Don't want Still want to be centre of attention, mate. I won't have it any other way. So that's what that is. On to Covent Oxford. Again, lots at stake for these two. Second yellow for Lawson, red card.
Yeah, again, I don't know why players do it. The first alarm bell for a referee there is he's not even looking at the ball. He doesn't even look at the ball, and he literally just lays one on him. Let's be blatantly honest. I think you said it, Lou, earlier. It's about watching Super League. He literally just checks him full blown, doesn't he? Just takes him out again on a caution. Referee again, he's straight out with a second yellow, straight red, as in second yellow. Yeah, easy decision. Only one game match ban for that one, but
easy peasy. Nothing too controversial, guys. I'm not a fan of your trying to cover up for all your cronies, but we'll let you. I don't
cover up. I'll just explain.
All right, mate. All right. I'm going to call you Mandelson then, promise. Hello, guys. Always look forward to this show. And is Ref Ramble on? Well, he absolutely is, and there he is. David Morwood, our Cornish blade. Welcome along, mate. Evening, gents. Hope you're both doing well. Cheers, Thom. We love to have you on board, mate. Love the fact that you are the Thom. And Gaz too, of course, yeah. Thank you for the score update. from Dave. 3-0 Leicester. Yeah, everything I said earlier about Leicester, you can throw that in the dustbin and start again, so that's fine. Good evening. Ian, how you doing? Other results went well as they could. It's not over till it's over. There's a song about that, but I won't sing it for you, I promise. And there's that, Gaz done. Evening all. Gaz, can you respond to that for us?
Yeah, just saying evening to everyone while I was sat in the background entertaining the punters.
I just like the fact you're going to respond to your own comment. It's my favourite thing. So, and then Ian says, probably an unpopular opinion. Oh, Ian, steady. But I think it's time for VAR in the Championship. Ooh, dropping the mic on that one. I think it's only a matter of time until it's rebranded Premier League 2 anyway. You think that, mate? I think the Super League that Gaz just referred to is going to be happening. I really believe that still in the world of footy, and hopefully, like the 6 teams that disappear, there'll be 6 from the Championship who join the Premier League, and I'd love that to happen personally. But yeah, maybe that's unpopular. What do you think, boys? Do you think VAR for the Championship, is it a matter of time?
I think it's a matter of time. I mean, when you look at some of the leagues overseas that it's used in, they don't have the revenue that the Championship generates. They don't have the kind of attendances that they have in the Championship. It seems like it's one of the big leagues that doesn't have it really, just because it's a second-tier league in this country. So I do think it's a matter of time, mate. Yeah, I don't know what your take is on it, Gaz.
Yeah, I think Jay Booth probably put it a good way of going onto your line on that, Louis. The Scottish Premier League's got it in a minus form, but they've got it. I do think it's maybe something to do with it's the Football League, so they'd potentially have to have Championship, League 1 and League 2, and there might be a cost implication for the lower league teams and that. But we've already had it in the Championship, as we as Blades know more than ever. In the
having it all year, then putting it in for the last game of the season. Good idea.
Yeah, so it's the big, like they say it's the biggest game in football, and so yeah, I think it'll be here sooner rather than later. But it's if the clubs want it. If the clubs don't want it, it ain't coming. So we'll have to see.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. Right, then let's have a look at this league table before we disappear, gents. Here we go. So at the top, tough at the top indeed. It is Middlesbrough, 61 points. Coventry 59. So a little 2-point cushion for them there. Ipswich away and 54, so they're 5 points off Coventry with a game in hand. They've got to step on it a little bit. You can see Coventry's form there: lose, win, win, lose, draw. That's not promotion form, and they're going to have to make some changes to that if they're going to get anywhere. Hull's halo slipped slightly last weekend with their 1 defeat in the last 6, but still obviously a really credible record. Preston Recovery. With their win after a really poor run of form there, you can see Birmingham City. If we scroll down and see them in 10th place, should mention them because they are looking more and more formidable. Win, draw, win, win. So yeah, 4 wins out of 6 and no defeats. That's a hell of a record. Watford, again, a side that we were looking at for 6th place. They're looking at that's relegation form. Lose, draw, lose is alarming for them, and they will need some of their top players to start turning up again. As we scroll down, we're looking at a highly informed Norwich City. Some believe that they are still in the picture for one of those playoff spots, and if you look at the number of points they need, they're only 11 points off, and there is still 15 matches to go for them. So there is a long way to go in this division, and 11 points can be clawed. If you're going to win 4 out of 6, you're going to run it all very, very close. I'm just going to stick with that middle band at the minute, guys. Is there anyone you really fancy with putting your Blades allegiance aside? Is there anyone on there that you think, more than anyone else? I still think all of these teams in the middle, except for your likes of maybe, I don't know why I don't think QPR will do it, or Stoke. I don't know why I think like that. But all the others, you just feel like they could put a run together.
I'm raising an eyebrow at Birmingham at the moment, mate. You mentioned their form there. But not just that, but in recent times, I mean, they had that really poor spell, and particularly they've had troubles away from home this season, as you mentioned earlier. It felt like Davis was kind of changing the way that they play a little bit, making them a little bit more dogged and difficult to beat, kind of a little bit more defensively solid. They just tweaked things slightly, and then they were getting a few draws. There was like a run of draws, maybe 4 or 5 in a row at one point, I think it was. And then all of a sudden, they've just started turning some of those greys into greens. Now they're starting to get a few W's on the board, and they've gradually just turned things around. And at the moment, they're coming on strong. They'd be the one to watch out for at this stage for me. Don't know what you think, Gav.
Yeah, I was thinking the same when I was looking at Birmingham. I think they've got some quality in that squad as well. If they can keep that form going, yeah, obviously they're going to be up there. And I'll be honest with you, before the result tonight, I would have potentially had Southampton in the same frame. They seem to be picking up results. They were. Obviously tonight's not. It's going to be unlikely they're going to get that. I think I've always said it. Bristol City are hit and miss. When they're on the game, they're on the game. Don't rule them out. I think Preston will drop off. I think Derby. I think they've got a good front three, but I think they concede too many goals personally. 39 conceded there. So yeah, it is open. If Sheffield United are on it and people are saying Norwich, I don't think Norwich are on it. I think that's too far personally. I think there's too much between Norwich, even the run they're on.
Well, guys, let me just say this to you, right, mate. So if results go the right way,
yeah,
any one of Preston, Bristol, Derby, Birmingham, Watford, or QPR with a W on any given weekend, if the others lose, which we know they can, they could leapfrog into 6th place. That I've never seen anything like it. It's so close. Literally 6 sides can leapfrog Wrexham into that playoff spot, with the goal differences that they've got. And,
Paul, you talked about Norwich. I just want to say they're 3-0 up now, Oxford, and Mohamed Toure, the January signing's got a hat-trick. So they are on fire at the moment as well. They win tonight, and it's going to be very interesting even right down to them.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's people are so inconsistent in this league currently, and anyone can beat anyone, like we always say. But somebody strings together 4 or 5 wins. It doesn't matter if you're down in 17th or 18th. You're going to be in there or around it. So yeah.
And it's exactly what the likes of Hull have been doing. If you look up at them as well, and Ipswich as well up there. So yeah, I think there's some that I think are more likely to string those results together. Like I said, there's nothing against QPR. They're up and down, obviously, in terms of 2 wins, draw, lose, win, lose, draw. They seem to be up and down all the time. But it's those ones that can put together 7 or 8 matches without a defeat that are going to be there at the end. And as we look down, obviously, all the red at the bottom there for Sheffield Wednesday, but West Bromwich Albion, Leicester City, 2 of the biggest, and Blackburn Rovers as well, like 3 of the biggest sides in the division, it has to be said, are right in this fight at the bottom. We still think Charlton could be part of that equation. I don't see Norwich doing that on recent form. I think they're going to pull away quite easily. I just feel like Charlton down. I think you're taking your pick. One of those from 5 of them are going to go.
Yeah, I think so. You look at Portsmouth, you think maybe, and they'd be the one earlier in the season that you thought might go. But they're fighting, aren't they? You look in there, they've got a couple of wins in there, a couple of draws, they're scrapping away. You know, the teams just below them, West Brom, Leicester, Blackburn. I mean, they're all banging trouble, aren't they? And it's kind of the wooden spoon race for those 3 at the minute. You just don't know who's going to make more of a mess of it than the other 2.
Next week we'll be saying after the Leicester result, they'll be all right. So yeah, I think it just changes week to week, doesn't it? So yeah, I still think Leicester have got the superior quality in the team. There's no doubt.
Yes,
and they will get results like they are doing tonight because their flair players will show up and do a job, but. Yeah, Blackburn and Albion, I feel like and Portsmouth are going to be there slogging it out just all the way to the finish. West Brom need a big improvement because their form is dire and they just can't buy a win at the minute. So, yeah, that's the thing. Ian just said Norwich have just gone above us. Cheers, mate. Thanks for cheering us all up. But yeah, that's the nature of the game, isn't it? Like I said, who's going to be 6th at the end of the weekend? I won't even stick a quid on any of it. So yeah, it is what it is. But thank you for joining us, gentlemen. Unless you've got any other further points you want to make, let me hear from you all in the comments, guys, about who you think might end up in that sixth promotion playoff spot. Sorry, in the promotion picture. Who do you think is destined for the trapdoor this season? Let's hear from you in the comments, and we'll look forward to seeing you all next week when we're all aboard. Choo choo, the championship.